What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. Before we get into all that Battle for Azeroth content that has recently dropped, I thought it would be important to take a step back and talk about the legendary system that was implemented in 7.3.5, and talk about how I'm farming Wakening essences, because I have this pretty understood now, and I think that there's a lot of people out there that are farming legendaries out and may not know the precise way to go about farming them so efficiently, and that's why I wanted to make a video about this today. So just jumping straight into it, we have 6 different ways of actually acquiring Wakening essences. And Wakening essences, when you acquire them, they're given to you at a random number most of the time. Sometimes it's a fixed number whenever you do your heroic or, whatever. I'll get into that in a moment. But it's important to know that there's 6 different ways, and you need 1,000 Wakening essences in order to create or synthesize a brand new Legion legendary. Okay, so if you're farming out those alts or you're trying to get those legendaries for your main, you just got back into the game, this is what you're going to want to pay attention to. Okay, so these 6 different ways are going to be the weekly Mythic Plus chest that you get every single Tuesday for doing a Mythic Plus run. Doesn't matter if you're doing a +2, doesn't matter if you're doing a +15 for that 960 piece of loot that comes with all those Wakening essences. You get 120 fixed amount of Wakening essences every single time you open up that Mythic Plus chest. So make sure to do at least one dungeon. It doesn't matter what difficulty it is. As long as you do one dungeon, you will be able to get 120 bonus extra weekly Mythic or extra Wakening essences from that weekly Mythic Plus chest. And then after that, there's killing every single boss in Taurus the Burning Throne. And this one gets a little bit more tricky. There's a random number that you can actually get, and it varies pretty largely as to how many Wakening essences you'll get per boss. So it actually is a minimum. If you clear out all 11 bosses, then it's a minimum of 198 Wakening essences for the entire run. And you can do this once per week, so it doesn't vary on difficulty. Like, you can't do heroic and normal and get like double dip basically, but you can get a minimum of 198 Wakening essences, and you can also get a maximum of 396, which is is exactly double. Which is really crazy, because just based on how lucky you are, you can get 400-ish or you can get 200, and that's a very, very big range of Wakening essences. And the average obviously for that is about 300 or so for a 11 out of 11 and Taurus run, and this means that you can do it on any difficulty. I noticed that it's pretty easy to just form up a normal group and just plow through it for an hour and be done with it for the week. And after that, you're going to be looking at the World Quest Emissary boxes. So now you can do one of these a day. This has been in Legion since the very beginning. If you do 4 World Quests of your Emissary boxes, you are able to get a certain amount of Wakening essences. If you do all 7 in 1 week, you can have a minimum of 168 and a maximum of 420 Wakening essences. And these numbers are only represented if you do all 7 Emissary boxes, so 1 for every single day of the week. And then after that, we have your random daily heroic for 30 Wakening essences per day. That's a very fixed number. And after that, we have PvP. Okay, so PvP is in 2 different parts. There's 3 different brackets in the ranked part and then the unranked part, and I'll get into that in a second. But the ranked part, every time you do your 2s, 3s, and RBG's honor cap per week, which does take a lot of time, but if you do it, you're able to get 126 Wakening essences out of all 3 of those combined. So you have to cap all 3 of those. You get 120 extra Wakening essences to add to that weekly cap, and then you also have this unranked play Wakening essences as well. So every single time you win a battleground, a lot of people don't know this because it doesn't actually say, but every single time you win your first random battleground of the day, so it resets daily, you get I think it's like 30, or no, it's actually around 50. Yeah, it's around 40. It's anywhere between 30 and 50 with a maximum of 294 per week. What's really cool about this is not only do you get a random battleground Wakening essence per day if you win one, but you also can do that in the PvP brawl. So you can double up. So if you do 1 win in a random battleground per day, you get 294. If you double that up, you actually get way more than that. You can get almost 600 out of just doing a battleground, and that's 2/3 of your legendary right there. So I really do encourage doing those battlegrounds and doing those PvP brawls every single day if you can, just to win one and get that, because those are the most bang for your buck in my opinion. But from a least to greatest effort standpoint, I would recommend going Emissary boxes for the least amount of effort, And then ramping up from there is doing your daily heroic. That's the second least, amount of effort you can do. It's super easy to do. Doing your weekly mythic plus chest, even if it's a level 2, which is super easy, you can do that and actually get 120 Awakening Essences per week. Then after that, I would recommend doing your random BGs and brawls in order to get that, 300 or 600 Awakening Essences per week. And then after that is that normal and Taurus clear. I think if you do that normal and Taurus clear, you'll get a large amount of Awakening Essences in a short amount of time, but you can only do it once per week. And then the greatest amount of effort out of this entire list is that doing your ranked PvP, it takes a long time to cap 2s, 3s, and RBGs. So I really, you don't get a whole lot for it. You get 126 for doing all of those, and the amount of time you have to spend on 2s, 3s, and RBGs just isn't really worth it to farm Awakening Essences. But there are a lot of other great ways to do it. If you do all of these, you're actually able to earn up to, assuming the brawls are active, because I think that every week they're not on, or every 2 weeks they're not on, and then all of a sudden, they have that 1 week where it is available. But assuming the brawls are active, the maximum amount of Awakening Essences you can do farming these methods is 1,860. And that translates to almost 2 legendaries per week, which is really cool. That's very fast, not including the random legendaries that you'll be getting. And the minimum of that is 1116, so 1,116. That means at the very minimum, if you do all of this stuff, you will get 1 legendary per week. That is a very fast, very fast farming pace, along with that extra random legendary that you'll be getting pretty much once per week. And I think that pretty much with this average amount of effort, you will be expecting 1 legendary per week. If you do get 2 legendaries per week, that's great. You know that you're super lucky. Keep going for it. But most of the time, you're going to get 1 per week. And I think that it's really important to know that this is the end of the expansion. So if you're looking to just enjoy one of your characters, and try to get those legendaries so that you can actually play it. Like for me, my hunter doesn't have legendaries, and hunters are trash without legendaries, so pretty much just have to farm it if I want to play my hunter. I think it's really important to know that this is the end of the expansion. Don't kill yourself over doing these crazy farming techniques. I know it's a lot of time and doing stuff that you probably don't care about just so you can get legendaries, and do the stuff that you do care about, like high mythic plus or mythic rating, whatever it is you want to do. But regardless, guys, I hope this video did help you out a little bit. If it did, be sure to give a big thumbs up on it and support the channel. You could subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. From pretty much now on, it's going to be mostly Battle for Azeroth content. The alpha is starting really soon, and the allied races just dropped, which I will be getting into for the rest of the week. But I just wanted to make this video, get it out to you guys, and work on my Battle for Azeroth content. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.